Hello everybody, this is Dedra with Paper Crafts and Planners, and today we're going to play with this explosion board by We Are Memory Keepers. This is my latest We Are Memory Keepers item in my craft room. I do have quite a bit because I do love some of the clever things that they come up with. This is not a punch board. Most of the boards I have a punch feature. This one does not. It is just a scoring board to help you make explosion boxes. It also comes with these heart templates and all the different sizes of the boxes they can make, so you can do hearts on the corner, and I'll show you that. The instructions are really clear. I have come up with a few tips along the way after making 3 of these, and some little pocket ideas and different things that you can maybe add to your creation, so we'll go over those. I'm a lefty, so this board wasn't as easy for me to use as it will be for somebody right-handed, and I just had to use my right hand and get over it. So it has very clear instructions. Something I haven't made yet, the instructions are on the back, is this squash card. And I've never made one before, so maybe I'll come back with that at a later date. So let me show you what I've made so far. Well, let me show you the board. So the board has all these different sizes. It starts with an XXL, which starts with a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and then goes all the way to a 6 by 6, which is the XX small, and I'll show you how small that gets. I haven't made this one, but today we're going to start with the large with the board we're making. And then it has all the lid sizes to go with it, and it's just really clever. And then of course all the little heart templates. So let me show you, oh, and it has the scoring tool in the bottom. All of the We Are Memory Keepers has the scoring tool, and it stays right in the board, which I really love, so I'm not losing all of those. Okay, the first one I made was this little Easter box, and I had this paper from Echo Park from their warehouse box, and so that's what I used because it had the stickers and all the embellishments to go. So this one I didn't do the hearts, I just did this plain, cut the squares out on the corner. Then the next one, I did lids for each one because I wanted to see how the lids went together. This one I did the hearts, which really cute. And I recommend if you're going to do this to have a paper collection so everything coordinates. I really love that. And I did some little tags here and some little half pockets on this one, on each edge. And then I've got the smallest, which is the XX small. Oh, I already took this one off. Okay, so this is a belly band that slides around. So let's take this one off so you can see. So you just slide the belly band off. I made those to go. And then on the inside you have a little surprise. And this one has the little happy Easter egg. And these eggs I just cut out from the paper. So the bands slide back on before you close it. And I put a little section in here so somebody could write a message, a happy Easter message. And so then you just close every section up and put the lids back on. And I won't go through the whole thing because I want to show you the other ones and I want to make one together. Okay. So this was the second one I made, and it's a Happy Mother's Day. These two are going to go on my Etsy shop. That one is for my grandchildren. Just made it quite a bit ahead. So this one I did the hearts on this layer. This is a punch I've had forever, a Martha Stewart one one of my favorite Martha Stewart items. And this is a paper collection from Close to My Heart. I should have put this on. That's one thing. Get the lids on to where if there's any messages or any thing that they all go the same direction when someone's opening it. So this one says, "You're my inspiration." This is a Mother's Day one. So this tag says, "Mom, I'm so blessed to have you in my life," and just flowers on the back. And this one is, "You make my heart smile." And this was a stamp I had, and I just colored it in with some alcohol markers and put it right there as the closure. And you could see this is sort of like that last half pocket, but I did both sides, so it's a full fold over pocket there. All right, and on this last one, I made a little different kind of pocket with a little cutout at the top and did some of these little butterfly stamps, and then the back is blank if someone wanted to sign something. And again, I put a little area down here for someone to put a message to their mother. Okay, let's put that one aside. And this is the latest one I made yesterday. It's a Happy Birthday to You, and this again is this Close to My Heart paper. And I didn't do hearts on this one. It's more of a masculine one, but it did have some stickers with the collection and some little strips with sayings. I added those along. And here's those pockets again, the double-sided. And I think I did this one the same. And I just did 3 layers with those last 2 and 4 layers with the first one. And then I just made some tags. This was actually a circle scallop punch, and I just cut it down to size and made a little tag. And these are blank tags for someone to just sign. And I've got a little sticker here that says the date and everything if someone wants to put all that information. Okay, so this paper collection is double-sided, and on the other side, it has more of a feminine look and colors. And so I went ahead, I've got the sticker sheet, I have a few things that I thought would coordinate with this. I have some punches around here, my favorite adhesive, all of that. And I've cut these down to size. And let me show you. So the first one is to make the large box, and it is a 10 by 10. So I picked my paper and I did a 10 by 10. The lid is a 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, and so I've already cut that down to size. And so on to do large, medium, and small is what we're doing. Oh, and extra small is what we're doing with this one. So I've got several layers. And the good thing about using a paper collection is you know everything is going to coordinate because they've got the solid papers that match. Everything's going to go together. With the Echo Park one, of course, I had to come up with my own solid papers, but that was no big deal. And you can see you get little paper pieces in here and fuzz, no problem. All right, let me take my scoring tool out, and we're going to line this up. This is our large box, 10 by 10, so we're going to go to the large notch there. I'm going to come all the way down. Now, you do need to turn this. Did I have that all the way in the corner? I don't think I did, so I'm going to do that again. You do need to score here, but I found it was easier if I did all the sides first and then came back and did that. So let's do that. Well, I should say you have to score there if you're going to do the directions that they said to do, which is the sides that they have, the heart, or just cutting them out, or just folding them in. And so I'll show you how we can do all of that, though. Okay. And one more. Okay, so now I found that if you're going to do the scoring like this, it was easier to have both of these corners scored first before you came back and did this one, because your tool automatically just stops right there at the corner. And you see how this is made for a right-handed person. If I were to try to use my left hand, it would just be very awkward. So I just got over it and used my right hand. It's not that difficult, but at first I was trying to use my left, and because it was just automatic for me to do that. But most of their punch boards, scoreboards, they're made to use for a right-handed person. So if you're a lefty out there, we're used to it, right? All right, so now we're going to fold and score. And I could have done either way with this paper because it looks cute. It's reversible, and I like both sides of this. And score really nicely. It just makes things easier if you take your bone folder or your tool that came with this, scoring tool, bone folder, whatever you want to call it, and just give a nice crease to everything. It really does help. Okay, so now you can see these sides will go in. And so you can either do just a fold like this and put the sides in and do a score, and then, but that adds a lot of bulk to me. This one I thought I would go ahead and do the hearts on, so I can show you how to do these hearts. So we're going to take this little piece off here, and we're going to use the large. I'm sorry if you can hear my cat. She wants in here really badly, but I know from experience she will be right up on top of this table if I do that. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to line it up in this very corner here, right here where it comes together. I know it's hard to see because this is light paper, and it's got a busy pattern. And then we're going to just trace around this heart into the corner like that. And we're going to do that on all four sides, and then I'll come back and cut it out. Okay, I got carried away cutting out my little hearts and cut out all four without coming back. But you can see, you just trace around and then you just follow it with your scissors. If you have a little bit of pencil, which I don't think I do on this one, that's pretty good, you can just come back in and erase the pencil marks around the edges. Now you can see how this will fold in, and you could take your scoring bone folder or whatever it is, and you can kind of just crease that down. See how I'm doing that? So it'll just fold up a little nicer when you're folding these boxes up. Now my happy birthdays are going every which direction, but I don't mind that. If you do, use a paper that's not directional then, like a polka dot or something like that, that it doesn't matter. But this, it doesn't bother me, so I think it's actually cute for the words to go all over the place like that. So this is what my first layer will look like. Let's make the lid. The lid is, let's see, it is for the large 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, and we're going to score right where it says lid. And again, I'm going to do these straight lines and then go back and do that corner one. You can do it either way. I just found it easier to do that. So this is my last straight line. And then I'm going to go from that corner right into here. Now there's a way that they show you how to do the boxes, how to fold them up, and you absolutely can do it that way. But to me, it created a lot more bulk than you needed. So I'll show you what I decided to do. And if you've ever made boxes before, you know the different ways to fold those corners so that you don't get as much bulk. Fold and cut them. Okay, so I'm going to fold it exactly like they show. But right here we have a score here, and then we have these two things. So the way they show it is to bend this through and then fold it back on itself like this. So you've got that little bend where you scored, and it would come like this, and you make the box. Now the thing about that is you'd have to put glue here or adhesive of any kind, and then you'd have to put some more adhesive here, and then you've got that bulk. So what I did after the first one, I did exactly like they said the first lid I did, but after that I cut in from the corner all the way up here, and then I took one of the sides off. Just like that. So when I'm going to be folding this now, I just have that one piece to glue down. Hopefully that makes sense watching that. Okay, so I'm going to do them the same. So this one I'm going to do right like this, but you could do however you want. As long as they fold, you're fine. As long as you have a corner to fold in on a side. Let's see. There you go. It can be a little hard to see with this, these patterns, but just try to go exactly corner to corner. Just like that. And try to cut straight. That's something I kind of struggle with, but it's fine. I usually get there. The boxes usually look just fine. And also you'll notice as you do this, you have a ridge because this scoring tool is not, you know, it's thick like that. So you're going to get a little bit of a channel, and I like to cut on the inside of it for my box sides. That way they look nice and neat. So in other words, I'm cutting that piece, the dip out. Okay, so now all we're going to do is put a little adhesive. See if my adhesive is flowing nicely today. Right here. Or you could use score tape or whatever you prefer to use, and then just line those up. Here, let me show you this way. Line those up, hold it for a minute, use your reverse tweezers, however you like to do that. Okay, I'm going to get this box put together, and then we'll come back and do the next layer. Okay, I've cut this box lid for the next size, which is our medium. And I went ahead and scored it, and I wanted to show you something different you can do for doing the tabs on the side to hold the box together. So when I scored this, I did not do that little corner score. I left it just the way it is. And I did a different kind of a cut on these. So what I did was I'm going to cut like this all the way up into the corner on this tab. And then I'm going to do just a little bit of a long triangle, I guess you'd call it. Just a little bit of a divot out of it. Oops, I left too much on this side because of that little score there. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this other outside. I'm going to put just a little bit so we don't have as much bulk. So you can see how I did these. Then when you put this together, you put the glue right there and hold it together, and you don't have as much bulk. The same as doing the little cutting the little tabs in half that we did on the last one. So let me show you how that goes together. You just hold it together like this until the glue sets, and then you could do all 4 sides exactly the same. Okay, so I have all my boxes scored and ready to be put together, and I've put together the lid. Since I've already shown you 3 different ways to do those tabs to put together, I didn't think we needed to go over that again. So this is the smallest. Let's go up to the largest. So on this one, I did not do the scoring at the corners. We have this one that we did with the heart shapes, so I think that's good. We've already done the hearts. For this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this here and fold it over and make a pocket. So we're going to cut into here, and I'm going to use my bigger scissors for this, so it's just quicker to do. So I'm going to cut all the way into there, and then I'm going to fold this. And you'll see this paper that I'm using is, the sides are 2 different shades. Well, I don't know if you can, but this is actually a deeper pink and this is a lighter pink. So we're going to take our little bone folder tool that is here somewhere. Yes. And we're going to go ahead and score that nicely. Okay, so I'm going to do this one and this one, I think, and then these I'll just cut out the corners. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to cut this one all the way in to there. Then I'm going to fold it and I'm going to score it. And you can see this one goes in a little bit farther than that one. I'm not going to worry about it. If it bothers you though, you could cut a little deeper and make your score again. Okay, so for these corners, I'm just going to cut them out. So we're going to have 2 pockets and 2 that are just the squares. Got a little bit of a shadow there. It was hard for me to see my line. And I can always come back and cut it again if I don't think it's straight enough. Okay, I was editing the video and realized that I got to this point on one of the layers and then I cut off to the next one. I don't know what happened. But so for the second layer, we were just here. We just cut these 2 flaps and I've cut the corners out. So this is how it looked. I cut it across and then I folded this down like that on both sides. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the pocket. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take a little circle punch, a small one. Actually, this one's kind of big. Here, I have another one here. And I'm going to line it up on what's going to be my pocket. So this is going to be the pocket that folds over. So I'm going to kind of just eyeball to see that I'm in the center. And then I'm going to do a little half circle cut out of it. Let's do the other side. Again, just kind of see if I'm in the center. As you can see, I'm not much on measuring a bunch. Just gonna see that I'm in the center and then punch out a little half circle. So let me show you how we're going to glue these down. I'm just going to put a bead of glue across this bottom and then across this side here. We just need the 2 sides glued down that have been cut. And we're going to fold that down, hold it in place. And now what I would do with this is to get some printed paper that's really pretty and coordinates with this. And I would measure it maybe like 1/8 of an inch smaller, 1/4 of an inch, however you want to do it. And then again, I do that little half circle on that too. So they look the same. They both have the divot. And then this can be used for a tag or whatever you'd like to put in there. A photo. If it's for a birthday party, that would be cute too. Okay, moving on. Okay, for this next layer, which is the orange layer, which is small, so we cut it at 8 by 8. And I just scored on the straight lines. I did not do a diagonal score because we're going to do a different kind of a pocket for this than what they have in the instructions. So what I'm going to do, I want to do a pocket that folds over 2 triangles. So I'm going to cut from this outer edge into this point here. So I'm going to use bigger scissors because it's just easier to get straight across. There we go. So I'm going to do that side like that. And then do the same thing. So from point to point. Okay. Then I need these flaps to fold over. So I'm going to cut across the bottom. all the way to the score line there. So I'm stopping right here. So I have a flap. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And then I'll show you how we're going to fold this up and glue it. And then all I'm going to do is do the same thing on this side. So we'll have two straight and then two sides with pockets. So what I'm going to do is put some glue right straight across like this and put the one flap down. Hold it for just a second till my glue sets. Then I'm going to take this flap's going to go over the top. So I'm going to do one more bead of glue right here. And then where this piece is, oops, I don't need it on top. Where this piece is going to cover, I'm just going to kind of do a little bit like that so we can hold that other piece down. If you get a little extra adhesive, don't worry about it. Just wipe it off. And you see I have a little pocket that I can put a little tag or something inside of. Okay, let's move on to the next layer. Okay, so my next is the extra small. So it is a 7 by 7. I went ahead and scored. You can see I have an extra score line there. I'm not going to fuss too much about it because I'm going to cover most of these up with paper. So I went ahead and folded, and I did not do the little diagonal line here because we're going to do something a little bit different. Okay, so for this one, I want to do the gatefold fold in. So what I'm going to do is I need an extra score or something down the middle to tell me where my gatefold, where I need to cut. So what I did with this one is I kind of lined this up to where it was even, and I just eyeballed it. I didn't measure it. But if you want it to be exact, you can use some kind of a scoring tool, scoring board or whatever. And then I'm going to take and put a line right down where I think the middle is and stop at this next crease. So I just need it straight down here. And then I'm going to take it on the other side of this square and do the same thing. Line it up to where I think it is even and then score right down the middle. And like I said, a scoring board will be easier because you can see exactly where you are with your measurements. And then I'm going to flip all the way around to the other side. And I'm going to do the same thing with both of these outside squares. Line it up to where it looks even and score down to the next score line. Do the same thing with the outside box and score. And what I want to do is have this inner flap and this inner flap go into the center. So I'm going to cut it all the way across the bottom here and into that next score line where my middle square starts. And then I'm going to cut this outside flap off. So straight down where I just scored. Okay, let's do the same thing. I didn't quite get that one all the way. Go. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut from the outside all the way in. And then we're going to cut this outer flap off. Right there where we scored. Okay. And then we're going to fold those in, crease them nicely. And here we have a little gatefold. And I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. So we'll have gatefold closures on both sides and then just the squares here. Okay, let me start putting this thing together. Okay, I'm back. For some reason my camera cut out when I was putting these pieces together. So I cut one more layer so I can show you how these go together. I just did the hearts on the side like we did on the very first one. All right, so what I use for this is liquid adhesive because I want to have some time to move this around a little bit and get it exactly where I want it. So I'm going to put the glue just in this inner square on the bottom. And I don't skimp with it at all. And then I think, should I put the hearts a different direction than, no, they're hearts, so they're going to go in every corner, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I kind of put it down here, and then I let the flaps out so that I can see that I have an even amount on each side of the flaps. And like this one, I'm a little too far over to the left, so I want to make sure I adjust that. like that, and get it squared up and straight. And then I'm going to press it down in the center so everything is even. Now on this one, I didn't do any decorating at all, but I think what I may do is come back and take one of the printed pieces and cut hearts to go over this. So printed hearts to go over that. And I didn't make a lid for this one yet, but let's close the whole thing up. I'll come back and do that for sure, make a lid. So let's close this flap up and put the lid on that goes with it. And then the next, this orangey layer. And I believe this is what goes with. And I'm going to turn it this way so all of my decorations are kind of going the same way. If I want to put a sticker that says happy birthday or whatever, I want it all to look the same for the person opening it. Close this one up. Put my balloons like this. And then we'll close this one up. The easiest way for these hearts I found is to tuck one inside and one on the outside like that, so that they tuck in nicely. And we'll put this lid on, and it's polka dots. It can go any way it wants, but I'll probably put a happy birthday on there or something, and I just think it turned out super cute. So let's open it back up. And again, I'm going to go crazy decorating like I did on the others. I won't leave it like this for sure. And then I'll put an extra lid there. So all opened up, you've got a beautiful, colorful birthday card explosion box that you can fit a little treat inside of. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Links to everything I used will be below in the description, of course, to the board. They have it on scrapbook.com. That's where I found it. So thanks for watching, everybody, and happy crafting.